6 here. Following are the identifying marks of a remnant. It says here they keep the commandments of God and the spirit of prophecy. They are sealed in their foreheads. They are health reformers. They are not Laodiceans, but Philadelphians. They will sing the song of Moses. They are not connected to any denomination. And we will study this.
Brother Johnson, they will.
Yeah, they will do that as well. Okay, now let's go to the first one here. Thank you, Brother Dave. The dictionary defines a remnant. It says here that a small remaining quantity of something. So basically, it's just going to be a small group. Okay. Google actually defines also a remnant. When you hear the term remnant as it used in the Bible, it refers to a group of people who remain loyal to God after a time of believers that will exist in the last days when earth is at worst. That means when apostasy are going to be waxing stronger, will be a group of people, small people, who will stand, who will define themselves obedient to God. And according to Matthew 22, verse 2, actually 2, 19. Okay, I made a mistake here. A wedding. That during this wedding, actually, the king provided the garments for those who attend the wedding. And in verse 11, when the king came in to see him, "Friend, how comest thou not with him?" And he was speechless. Then said the king to the servants, bind him hand and foot, take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There is weeping and not. Many are called, but how many are chosen? Only few are chosen. That means many people are being invited, but only few are going to make it. Okay. In Luke 13, 23 and 24, then said one unto him, Lord, are there few be saved? And he said unto them, strive to enter in at the straight gate, not be able. So only few. Okay. So the remnant is going to be few only, because only few will heed the message. Another thing here, God's remnant, God's remnant people of God keep the commandments. Okay, it says here, God's remnant keep the commandments of God and the spirit of prophecy, the testimony of Jesus, which is the spirit of prophecy. Revelation 12:17, and the dragon was wroth with the enemy of Jesus Christ. And what is the testimony of Jesus Christ? Revelation 19:10. The testimony is the spirit of prophecy. Okay. Now remember that the last deception of Satan is to make of none effect the spirit of prophecy. Okay. Matthew 7:21 to 23, it says here, not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. So only those who do the will of God. Now what is the will of God? The Ten Commandments, Psalms 40 verse 8. Okay. So many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. See, only few, okay, will be obeying God's commandments. In Romans 9 verse 27, Isaiah also cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. So there will be a lot of Christians today, but a remnant only, a small quantity of people will be saved. Why only few? According to Isaiah 10:22, for though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. Return to who? Where? To Christ. So only people will actually follow Christ. Isaiah 10:21, the remnant shall return, the remnant of Jacob unto the mighty God. That means only few will come to Christ, will come to God. They will be obedient to God. Will remain obedient to God. Only few. So there's a lot of people going to church. People going to thousands, 26 million in just one denomination. Yeah. But there's going to be only few there. Only few. And I hope we are part of the few.
Who's the multitude? What is the multitude?
Now let's just find us as we go along, because there's the reason why it's only a remnant, because there's two groups of people that would be translated. In the next slide, God's remnant people are sealed in their foreheads. Okay. Now it says here in let me read from, this is taken from Review and Herald, but we can also go to the Bible after this. Review and Herald, August 1, 1849 says, I saw 4 angels who had a work to do on the earth and were on their way to accomplish it. Jesus was clothed with priestly garments. He gazed in pity on the remnant, then raised his hands upward and with a voice deep pity cried, my blood, Father, my blood, my blood, my blood. Then I saw an exceeding bright light come from God, who sat upon the great white throne and was shed all about Jesus. Then I saw an angel with a commission from Jesus swiftly flying to the 4 angels who had a work to do on the earth, and waving something up and down in his hand and crying with a loud voice, hold, 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 until the servants of God are sealed in their foreheads. I asked my accompanying angel the meaning of what I heard and what the 4 angels were about to do. He showed me that it was God that restrained the powers, and that he gave his angels charge over these things on the earth, that the 4 angels had power from God to hold the 4 winds, and that they were about to let the 4 winds go. And while they had started on their mission to let them go, the merciful eye of Jesus gazed on the remnant and pleaded with him that he had spilled his blood for them. Then another angel was commissioned to fly swiftly to the 4 angels and bid them hold until the servants of God were sealed with the seal of the living God in their foreheads. So this remnant are going to be sealed with the seal of the living God in their foreheads. Now, how many were sealed though? Actually quoted from Revelation 7. Many were sealed. It says in Revelation 7, 1-4, and after these things, I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, and nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Okay. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. So how many were sealed? 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Now, who represent the children of Israel? Do we represent the children of Israel? Okay, according to Romans 2, 28-29, for he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is out, is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, in that spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of God. See, we are not a Jew by blood, but we can be part of the Jewish children of Israel because of Christ. Okay, it says here, for as many of you as have been baptized into Christ have put on Christ. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, for ye are all one in Christ Jesus. And if ye be Christ, then are ye Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. Okay? And also in 2T 109, it says here also, I was shown that those who are trying to obey God and purify their souls through obedience to the truth are God's chosen people, his modern Israel. So if we are trying to obey God, we are said that only 144,000 are being mentioned are going to be sealed. Because, remember, there's 2 saints that will be taken to heaven. You have the dead in Christ and you have the living in Christ. Remember, the dead and also the living represent the living saints. That's why it's only 144,000, because they represent, why they represent the living saints only? It says here in Revelation 14, 3 and 4, and they sang as it were a new song before the throne. Learn that song, but the 144,000 which we redeemed from the earth. This we redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and unto them. That means they are being taken, translated without experiencing death. They represent the living saints. And according to Ellen White, Early Writings 14:1, the living in number. So that's why it's a few only, because that's the only remnant that will be found obedient. I'm sure that there's multitudes which no man could number, because there are 2. You have the living saints, which the 140,000. You have the great multitudes, which no man could number. That represents the dead in Christ. Making sure we are part of that living saints, the 144,000.
The great multitude, there's no seal in their forehead.
They have seal as well, but they are just dead in Christ. Okay? Everyone that goes to heaven will have the seal only. Okay? Now, according to Paul, this is in 1 Thessalonians and the living in Christ. It says in 1 Thessalonians 4:16-18, for the Lord himself and with the trump of God. And the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up. Oh, shall we ever be with the Lord? Wherefore comfort one another with this word. So there are two saints, the dead in Christ and the living in Christ. Now, most representations of those who will be taken was a witness to Christ's victory over sin and death. He represented those who shall come forth from the grave at the resurrection of the just. So Moses represents those great multitudes who are dead. Represented those who will be living upon the earth at Christ's second coming, and who will be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. Yes. Enoch also. Yeah, Enoch. The same thing with Enoch. Enoch was translated to heaven without seeing death. The last generation who will be taken to heaven. Yeah. So it's only few. Okay, and actually there's a study about the 100 for being used there. That's why we have to make sure that we have to be part of that. Okay? That God's remnant people are health reformers. Okay, when they were being taken from Egypt, the Lord gave them a special diet. That's it. Yeah, all right, 600,000 they came out, but how many were allowed to enter? 2 were found faithful. Yeah. Okay, now 600,000, that's so much. So what is the ratio there? Okay? Very small. That's why it says here, they're health reformers. It says the remnant people of God, believers who accept certain portions of the testimonies as the message of God, while they reject those portions that condemn their favorite indulgences. Such persons are working contrary to their own welfare and the welfare of the church. It is essential that we walk in the light while we have the light. Those who claim to its principles in daily life practice are hurting their own souls and are leaving wrong impressions upon the minds of believers and unbelievers. So we need to be a converted people. You know, it says and grain should compose our diet. Not an ounce of flesh meat should enter our stomachs. The eating of flesh is a natural. We are to return to God's original purpose in the creation. Those who are waiting for the coming of the Lord, meat eating will eventually be done away. Flesh will cease to form a part of the diet. I cannot think that in the practice of flesh eating, we are in harmony with the light which God has been pleased. Now, are the ministers included in this diet as well? Huh?
This is just our.
No, this is Abraham. No, the was living in the old covenant. But the thing, he was faithful to the old covenant. And so even though God allows them to eat those flesh, but God gave them a direction, special direction, that no blood to the commandments. Now try eating flesh food without those two things. How does it taste? Huh? Okay. So
some of those people we say that comes out of
okay, because our salvation is not our salvation. Okay, is based on the light. There will be just like before the worshiping Sunday. So those people who died faithful to the light they have, they will have salvation because that's the only light they have. But same thing with the one with the cross. The guy did not do anything because he was there, but he will be saved.
There's people also be eating meat and they receive the light about the sin.
And they will also be they will be saved because they don't have that. But we have all the light. God gave us all this light, so there's no reason to reject. Okay, because we will be condemned if we don't if we reject one light. It says here that ministers are included in this diet. It says here that let not any of our ministers set an evil example in the eating of flesh meat. Let them and their families live up to the light and their own nature and the nature of their children. Will any who are ministers of the gospel, proclaiming the most solemn truth ever given to mortals, will those who are supported by the tithe from God's storehouse permit themselves by self-indulgence to poison the life-giving current flowing through their veins? It says here in 63:78, why do some of our ministering brethren manifest so little interest in health reform? It is because instruction of self-indulgence. In some places, this has been the great stumbling block in the way of our bringing the people to investigate and practice and teach health reform. No man should be set apart as a teacher of the people while his own teaching or example contradicts the testimony God in confusion. His disregard of health reform unfits him to stand as the Lord's messenger. Now, if we are half converted, according to this quote, many who are now only half converted on the question of meat eating will go. That's a very strong statement there.
There is a pastor that doesn't know this light.
But there is no excuse right now because this light has been shed already in the churches. This light has been actually given since we cannot judge because there were people who died already, didn't know about this light.